Okay, so if you watched my video for question 47, you saw that we were using the chronology rule to help us figure out where to look. So we should use the same thing here too, right? So this is also a no line reference question. We should also use the surrounding questions to get a better sense of what we need or where we should look. And what I think is particularly difficult about 48 is it seems like a whole passage question where we really need to understand the big picture and have read everything in order to be able to get this right. Because it seems to be asking just like generally about the experiment. No, not the case. So we're going to use the next question to help guide us. We know that the answer to this is probably before line 67. So that's right here. And from question 47, for question 47, we started reading around here. And then we had, a big chunk of text to read. But we found the answer to number 47 kind of at the beginning, middle of this paragraph here. So I would expect 48 to kind of be in this mix too. And what's also strange is that this is not asking for something that's mentioned in the lines, right? It's a hypothetical situation. Which choice describes a scenario in which Haddock and Seaver's model predicts that a Venus flytrap will not close around an insect? So it's not going to be in the passage in the way that other information is in the passage, in the way that other questions have evidence in the lines. This is a hypothetical. So that may feel like we need to really understand it. But again, no, we're going to use a dumb summary of what's going on to compare these situations to. So if we go to the lines here, what does it really say? So we did a lot of this for question 47, but I'll just kind of quickly reiterate it. What are they talking about? This is Haddock and Seaver's. We know that because they're over here somewhere, right? Blah, blah, blah. They predicted their model, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So they proposed that the trap requires a relatively high concentration of calcium in order to close, and that a single action from just one trigger hair does not reach this level. Okay. Therefore, a second hair needs to be stimulated to push the concentration over the threshold and spring the trap. The encoding of the information requires a high enough level of calcium. Increases triggered by touching the second hair. Total concentration over the threshold. If the second touch and potential don't happen quickly, here's the most important piece. The final concentration after the second trigger won't be high. So my dumb summary of what's going on here is that we need a high concentration, 2 triggers, and it needs to be quick. It's supposed to be an arrow. Ugh. So let's see if anything doesn't sound like those, right? So remember, it's something that's not going to close the trap. So A large insect's second contact with the plant's trigger hairs results in a total calcium ion concentration above the trap's threshold. Okay, so high concentration seems to match. So that sounds like it would spring the trap. A large insect makes contact with a second trigger hair after a period of inactivity during which calcium ion concentrations have diminished appreciably. So this has got 2 problems, right? Low concentration and not quick, right? Period of time. That's probably the answer. It goes against 2 of the things that they said. So let's just make sure. C, a large insect's contact with the plant's trigger hairs causes calcium channels to open in the trap. Well, if the channels are opening, then the concentration is going up. I don't know, this one just seems like it's describing the mechanism. So this just seems like what would cause it, right? The whole point of this is that they're describing this exact situation is what causes the trap to close. I don't really get C. It doesn't seem different. A large insect's contact with a second trigger hair occurs within 10 seconds. That sounds pretty quick. Of its contact with the first trigger hair. So quick is good. We want quick. We don't want not quick. And that's what choice B is. So that is what's right. So notice, do we really need to understand like the complexities of Venus flytraps and trigger hairs and calcium ions? No. We need to know that we kind of have high concentration in a short amount of time. That's what they're saying. It's very basic. Stick to the basics. This is not a science test. It is a comprehension test, and dumb summaries is my way of giving you permission to comprehend the minimum amount necessary to understand the question. And honestly, it's almost always less than you think you need to know. So dumb is okay. Stay dumb. And then if we had two choices we were deciding between, we could always go back to the passage and try to get more information out of it. But if you're doing this right, you shouldn't need to do that very often. So there you go. Choice B. It's the answer. I had no problem with this, mostly because I knew where to look, right? If I hadn't known where to look, this question might have been a lot harder. So the chronology rule really helped me look in the right spot. And that way I had the simplest dumb summary very quickly. And then it was just an easy comparison from there.